Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my Season 1 finale review of Halo. Now, this should have gone out with a huge bang. I think I speak for a lot of people. Most people, kind of. I was just left a little bit bewildered, in fairness. Yeah, wasn't particularly great. I'll get to why. There won't be any footage because CBS, Paramount Plus, copyright claims out the wazoo for these things. It's not worth it. These reviews don't earn anything, so it's entirely pointless to get copyright claimed and risk the channel and all the hassle that comes with it. I'm not interested in it. So you're just gonna have to look at my pretty little face or this awesome T-shirt, which is really cool. Anyway, let's dive into it, shall we, ladies and gents? I think it's really important when we cover this to discuss the budget, right? And it is really important. They spent a reported $90 million on Season 1. 9 episodes, $10 million an episode. This was some of the worst CG yet. They've had pretty bad CGI throughout this season. But yesterday's episode, whenever I watched it, was especially bad. It was not great. A lot of it looked worse. Well, I said worse than one of the recent games. But it looked on par with one of the original games' CG. So that's not good. Okay, that's not good at all. But it's not just the CG and the special effects that are bad. It's the story. This story is just completely whacked out. Completely. Now we have to cover the first episode, and we basically have to talk about the season to, go where this story's ended up and why it's so bad overall. Well, the main complaints from people has consistently been Master Chief has been taking his helmet off, talking a lot, crying, wild displays of emotion. Now, obviously, we're used to quite a stone cold Master Chief. Says little things, not very often, right? That's him. That's him in a nutshell. We end this season with Master Chief like that. Because it's not Master Chief. It's the weirdest way to round out this whole season. Very, very strange. So if you cast your mind back to a few episodes in, we learn what Cortana is. Cortana has access to Master Chief's brain. She can, sorry. The end result would be that she takes over the body completely. That was the end result. Now, I think there's somewhere, it had been like a breakdown of communication, or, I'll cover this a little bit in a minute, because originally Dr. Halsey had said, I'm not going to give you access to it. So I'm a bit confused with that, because she does have access to it by the end of this episode. She basically removes Master Chief's consciousness entirely. Either that or he's dead. And then she can take over. Doesn't really make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. But in doing so, we then get the Master Chief that we know. Just glances, doesn't speak. Just looks at stuff. Is a badass in what he's doing. Absolute stone cold killer. That's because it's Cortana. Mackie, she gets killed. What an entirely pointless narrative that was. So what, Master Chief loses his virginity to this woman. Yeah, this girl. Which gave us a very strange sex scene for Halo. Of all things, first person shooter. Just bump uglies. Why not? Just what you want, isn't it? And then she dies anyway. Completely redundant. What was the point of that as an arc? You know what she was? She was a MacGuffin. She was the impetus behind Master Chief understanding that he can unlock these things. And understanding where the Halo ring is. But you know why she's like completely pointless? Because you could have got there without her. You could have got there. You could have explored the humanity aspect without that. It's a very strange sort of focus to bring into it. It confuses Master Chief as a character emotionally. And now she's just dead anyway, so what's the point? Very odd decision making from start to finish. So let's talk about just roughly this episode and just break down some bits and pieces, right? The whole season was just garbage. This show is garbage. The story's garbage, right? Narratively, it doesn't make any sense. There's, like, I've just explained how Mackie was a MacGuffin, like a completely pointless character designed solely to get our protagonist, you know, to certain revelations, which you could have achieved anyway. You know, you've got two antagonists there, Mackie and Dr. Halsey. You could have just had Dr. Halsey be the, you know, the sort of, the impetus behind Master Chief having these sort of thoughts and these emotional revelations. Mackie was pointless, serves no reason. Anyway, this episode starts off where we left off. I'm guessing this is like a sort of the Fall of Reach light. I'm guessing, like, it's kind of that, but kind of not. Mackie obliterates part of Reach, you know, the big UNSC base, and takes off. Master Chief wakes up, has, you know, sort of a to and fro with the other Spartans. Keyes walks in, goes, no, he's right. We're all scumbags. We stole you. Soz, bruh. And then the Spartans run together to go get Mackie. She escapes. Now, in doing so, Kai, this character of Kai 125 or whatever it was, jumps on Dr. Halsey's ship because she's about to escape, of course. And she kills that little imp man that works with Dr. Halsey. Good. He was annoying as hell, so good. I'm glad he's dead. Suck it, bruh. But Dr. Halsey escapes. And because how Kai got into the ship, like it's going to crash land anyway, this character has had so many near-death experiences. Like, I love it. Kai is basically South Park's Kenny. You think she's dead. Oh, no, she isn't. Literally. The whole thing just blows up. The whole ship crashes into the floor. Massive smoke, flames. And she's just, and pulls herself up. I'm like, what? But it's funny. Kai is Kenny for Halo, basically. I like that. I think that's quite comical. I don't like it, it's just funny. So Dr. Halsey escapes in a pod. Obviously, it's not Dr. Halsey, it's a Flash clone. It took me like 2 seconds to figure that out because they were talking about the pod and the cargo. You know, her and her imp. And I was like, well, obviously, it's another clone, isn't it? Let's be honest. So it was. But anyway, Master Chief, all the Spartans go to the Covenant Holy World. And therein lies our worst CG yet. Awful CG. That environment was... It looked like bread. It was so bland. And just like brown. And terrible. It was awful. It was shite. But anyway... That leads to quite a big fight. Brutes and stuff like this. Some first-person shooter, some not. It was just trash, though. All of that was just nothing burger. And anyway, Master Chief can't go and grab the keystones after Mackie's dead. He can't go and grab the keystones because, of course, he'll just freeze up. He can't save his team. So what does he do? He speaks to Cortana. He's like, well, you can. And she's like, well, no, because then you'll die. I can't, I can't guarantee I'll bring you back. Even though she doesn't have access to his brain, remember? Dr. Halsey's never given her access to the complete part of Master Chief yet. She can shut him down, but she's never been given full access. I remember specifically that, because remember, Master Chief went to kill Dr. Halsey, and Cortana couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything at all. So I'm confused what happened there. Because even if he's... Anyway, he goes and gets himself battered into oblivion and basically dies. But I still don't understand. So if he's dead, she can then take over. What's the mechanics behind that? To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. But whatever, who cares? She then takes over, And then that's it. Game over. Done. What pointless season. Marquis, pointless character. Halsey escapes anyway. And also as well, the Spartans were really dumb. So they're on this ship, go into the Covenant homeworld, right, the Holy Land, and they're just dropping grenades. Just dropping grenades. Just letting them fall down. Fuck me, you're Spartans. You're supposed to be the best of the best. And you're dropping grenades on this ship. Real bad. Idiots, actually. Very stupid. But anyway, Cortana takes over the body. And then I'm guessing because he's dead. But then if he's dead and then he comes back, how? That doesn't really make any sense. Literally none of it makes any sense. If you've got any thoughts and theories as to how that makes sense, let me know. Maybe I've missed something, but I don't remember Dr. Halsey giving access, to Cortana to the full side of Master Chief. I don't remember that being the case at all. She had to gain access, permissions. She doesn't have it. So, very peculiar. But maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I got bored and looked away. I genuinely don't know. And if he's dead, she's got full access, then he's dead anyway, so who the fuck cares? But, like I said, that final 2 minutes or whatever it was, that kind of gave us our sort of best look at the sort of Master Chief character that we know, but it's not even the character that we now know from the series. Bad series through and through. If you liked it, I'd love to hear why. Loads of people are like, well, if you want to play the games, just play the games. Alright, whatever. I will, I guess. Cheers. Take care.